Hello and welcome to the Manifest to Live Life Golden podcast. I'm Golden Duffy, your host, and today I am coming to you live, not live, but I'm coming to you off the cuff. I've got no notes. I've just got I got a download coming through and I need to share it with you guys because you're my people. That's why you're my people. And I got to share with you what's coming through so that we are super clear on the energy field and what we are promoting in the energy field and what we're doing. What are we doing as a society with the idea of needing constant validation? So this is it's a message that came through to me yesterday, but it's something that I've actually thought about in the past in how our society has been set up with social media, with the likes, with the response of the outside field and how that makes us feel. So it's one of the major reasons why I'm not on TikTok, because when I would go on TikTok, I have an account on there. I was doing videos here and there. I found myself constantly checking to see how many views and how many likes I got. And for whatever reason, Facebook and Instagram, I don't do that. I really don't look at my likes. Every once in a while I'll notice. I don't usually look at who's liking. I'm just putting out energy into the world. And the reason why I feel very compelled to do this the way I'm doing it and not be on TikTok where I feel like it drives that dopamine and it drives that sense of needing validation is because of the law of compensation. So the law of compensation says everything that we put out into the universe, we are compensated for. So that means we don't have to give to get. There is an energy of that give to get, but that doesn't have to be our energy field. If you are giving to get, you are giving from a place of lack because you're looking to get something from what you're giving. And I see this a lot in relationships. This gets us in trouble in relationships because often we will not have boundaries with people and we'll people please and we'll people please and we'll people please. And then we get really upset when that person doesn't acknowledge us or doesn't give back to to the level of what we've been giving. Some people don't have the capacity to give to the capacity that we have. So if you have that, if you've been coming from that energy for a long time, and honestly, we've kind of been taught to do this, pay attention to why you're giving. And pay attention to what you're thinking, or at least internally what's going on as far as like what you think you're going to get back. Because the law of compensation says we're always compensated, but not necessarily from that specific person. I had a really cool thing happen to me recently with a really good friend, a woman that I met. She's actually been on my show, Jody Friedman. She was on my Golden Hour show. If you haven't caught the Golden Hour, what the heck's the matter with you? It's on the live section of my YouTube channel, and it's also on E360 TV. So if you look for the app, you can watch it on your television, which is really cool. It's the E360 TV app. If you look for Achieve TV, you'll find the Golden Hour. I have incredible interviews. I have almost 40 interviews, maybe 40. But Jody was on a little while ago. She's a Reiki master. She's a meditation teacher. She's absolutely amazing. I love this woman. We met and our relationship connected super deep, super fast. I stayed in her house in Vegas while she was on vacation because I had an event there and she let me do that. And I helped her out one day. We had a phone call one day and she was feeling low and I was helping her kind of, process some things and didn't think anything of it. And then we launched a new M21 challenge. So if you're not in the M21 group, oh my goodness, this challenge has been completely epic. So it's 21 days where you commit to meditation, and this new group of people, Jody invited, 25, 26 people into this group. It is so amazing. Like, we haven't had this energy in M21 in a long time. And because of that, my partner, Jessica Mkowski, and I decided that we're going to do meditations every day. We're going to do a guided meditation every day. We don't normally do that. We do a couple of videos, we do posts every day, but we don't normally do a specific guided meditation every day. So this is calling us to new things. So law of compensation. I just could see the law of compensation coming back. Everything that I've been doing in the world, bringing value to the world. When you bring value to the world, that law of compensation is in play. So if you are a creator, especially if you're, a YouTube creator, a podcast creator, or if you just want to create some things in the world, My best advice to you is to just start doing it and just continue to add value to the world, because my life has been incredibly blessed from the last, I don't know, 7 to 8 years that I've just been posting every day and I've been putting value out there and I've been putting things out there. I feel the law of compensation in play in a very big way. So I had a conversation with this amazing man, Nick. He's going to be on my Golden Hour show, I think next week. And we were talking about my Golden Hour show and the fact that there's, 14 million potential viewers on the E360 site and all the different avenues that the show goes out to. I have not actually looked at my analytics or my views. And this is why, because that stuff can be very discouraging. And I put a lot of effort and a lot of work into the Golden Hour. That is like my baby right now. Like that's a lot of my time. I would say probably 75% of my time is my work time is contributing to the Golden Hour. So in knowing this, I don't look at the views because I could find that, especially if you're in the beginning of your journey. I just started the Golden Hour a few months ago, can be very discouraging. So I was talking to Nick and I was like, I'm not looking for outside validation. That's not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is to put value out in the world and to feel connected to my fulfillment and purpose. When you do that, you don't necessarily need the outside validation. Does it feel good? Yes. I love you all who message me and tell me that this show has made an effect in your life. I love you so much for that, because that does help us to keep going. We are human, right? We need that. We've got egos. We've got, we need signs that somebody's hearing and that, we're making some sort of a difference to keep going. Absolutely. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is just needing that validation to feel like you're valuable in the world. If you are equating your value in the world to the outside validation that you're getting, that's very discouraging. So I brought it to another level. I was thinking about the scale. So I recently got back on track. I've been walking 10,000 steps a day, actually 11 or 12,000. Like I'm crazy with this. I got this Apple Watch and it's making me crazy. I got back to the gym, so I'm weight training, and I started to track my food again because I was feeling like, oh man, I don't feel good. I'm not feeling healthy, strong, and fit. I got to get back to the basics of what I know works for me. So I started tracking my food, making sure I'm getting plenty of protein, getting back to the gym, building the muscle, walking every day in nature. So good for you. Mental health, physical, spiritual, all of it. So good for you. So I started doing the things that I know makes me healthy, strong, and fit. So I'm back in the gym, which is where the scale is. I don't have a scale in my house. I don't believe in scaling myself every day. So I said to my husband, I'm not doing it. I'm not weighing myself, because every time, I could probably count on one hand in the last 6 years that the times that scale has said something that has actually made me feel good. And it doesn't last. So what I decided, and muscle weighs more than fat, so it's very hard to quantify a lot of times if I am creating progress within what I'm looking to create. So I decided that the scale was validation for something that I no longer needed. I'm doing everything. I'm doing all the actions. If you're doing all the actions to create the manifestation, you don't need the validation. And what's happening is we're taking score too early. And when we take score too early, we're not giving the energetic time to catch up with the physical. That's what we're doing. And then we get discouraged. And guess what happens when we get discouraged? We drop our vibration. Then we get confused. Oh, I thought what I was doing was going to work and it's not working. So instead, if we just keep doing the actions and moving forward and not letting the validation come from within. I am validating myself. I'm creating value in my own body by moving it, by giving it healthy foods, by making a strong decision in my life that I'm going to be healthy, strong, and fit, and not lazy and procrastinating and feeling bad about myself. So instead of needing the outside validation from the scale, You work out, you gain muscle, you walk every day, you do the things, and then you don't need that outside validation. So I was talking to my daughter about it this morning, and we were talking about reels and our Instagram. So we are both like 996, right? Like we're a few away from 1,000. And one thing we've noticed is that like 1,000, I don't know why, it feels like a milestone, right? Every time I get close to 1,000, I think the closest I've been is like 997, it'll drop off by a couple. And she was like, I was wondering why I'm losing followers. Like my daughter is Jade the Carpentress, I think is her name on Instagram. She's amazing. Go watch her reels. They're so incredible. She builds furniture. She's a powerhouse of a woman. So I'll have to have her on the show again soon. She was in one of the earlier episodes. Right when she was quitting her job, I think I had her on. So she quit her job to become a barnwood furniture builder, custom furniture. She takes down old barns and she custom makes furniture for people. And she does all of the festivals, and oh my gosh, she's created so much success with this thing. It's incredible to watch the journey. So I'll have to have her on again because she's kind of past the being afraid of the manifestation, hoping it's going to happen. It has happened. So anyways, we were talking about like, and I said, oh, there's bots. Like my other girls told me there's bots. And when they, snag the bots, then you lose the followers. They're not real followers. And she was like, oh, that makes me feel so much better. I was like, yeah, right. So she's like, I always notice, she's like, I always wonder, like, when am I supposed to post the reel? And sometimes I post it and I think it's a good time and it's not, and it doesn't get received. And I said, you just don't know with the algorithms what they're doing. It doesn't really mean that you haven't put out value. So I said, just put stuff out there and don't quantify it by the views, because that is discouraging. That can be discouraging. You just make a killer reel, you put all your heart and soul into it, and then put that value out into the world. Because I get incredible joy from those reels. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because if we're seeking the outside validation, we have the lack within us. There's not enough of us validating us. We're forgetting who we are. I did a post on Facebook this morning. If you don't follow me on there, it's Golden Duffy, my page. And I also have Manifest to Live Life Golden, my group on there, where you can get my posts every day, because my post today was all about that outside validation and keeping score too early. And why do we need, this is like, I think it goes back to like grade school, or back to like trying to please our parents. I was trying to come up with that foundation. Like, where did we start that outside validation? I think it was with report cards. What's our value in the world? What's our value in school? And we're basing it on a teacher that is basing it on things that could be extremely challenging for us. We know kids that don't test well. We know kids that can't sit still. So think about that. Where did I get that intention to look outside of myself for validation? And why do I not feel good unless I get that outside validation? That is like a road that's never going to end. That's like, it's one of those things that you're never going to fill yourself up enough if you're looking to other people to fill you up, especially if you feel that lack within you. So my advice would be, first of all, join M21. It's an incredible group of people, and we're teaching people to meditate. Meditation is the first step to getting to know yourself, to getting to know the truth of yourself, and to letting go of this idea of looking to others because of the lack you have within you. So it's the beginning of that journey. I also have a lot of things coming up with my husband. We're going to be putting out some challenges. We're going to have a virtual event, and those things are really going to help you connect to your authentic self. We have so much stuff planned. I'm super excited. And I'll be sharing, we're actually going to do a show together really soon to share about the new stuff that we have coming up that's going to help you to really connect with who you are. Like, who are you, right? I remember when I first started meditating, they were like, oh, you have to go within and you got to center and you got to find out who you really are. And I was like, what? What do you mean? I'm me. No, there's all these false perceptions of me. There's all these false perceptions of you. There's this superficial, wrapping that we put around ourselves, this idea of the false perception of self, of not really knowing who we are because we put our value on what the world says we are. Look at the people that we put value on. Think about this for a second. The Kardashians, right? they put a lot of value in the world. You may be a lover of the Kardashians, but seriously, people, what are we putting the value on in the world? Is it the people that are in the movies? Is it the people that are on stage? Or are we looking at value as our gifts and what we're contributing to the world and the value that we're putting out into the world? So I would really implore you to do some deep dives with this, because this is a conversation that's super short because I only have a little bit of time this morning, but I wanted to put out a podcast on this because I'm like, wow, where have I been looking for outside validation, and where have I felt discouragement, or where have I been dissatisfied with that outside validation, right? There's been plenty of times on this journey, because I've been doing this for a long time, and I've got, 2 years of podcasts, and now I've got this other show, and I'm putting out so much effort. And I could say that, the money hasn't matched the effort. But if I look at my whole life, there's abundance. There's a lot of abundance in my life. I have abundance of love. I have abundance of finances. I have abundance of a wonderful life where I get to share my gifts. So it's not just quantifying like what's in my bank account or what's coming across my bank account. It's like, what's my whole life? What's the value of my whole life showing me? and using that as evidence of your value in the world. Now, if you're not creating value in the world, this is the other piece of this that's really interesting, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom or a caregiver. Got some caregivers out there taking care of their grandbabies. Wow, powerful work, super powerful work. If you're not quantifying that as value in the world, I mean, washing your dishes, keeping your house clean, doing your laundry, taking care of your family, cooking for people, these are all extreme values in the universe that we don't quantify. At least I haven't. And recently I'm connecting more with that value of like, oh, I'm creating this beautiful home, and my husband comes home and it's clean and it's great and it's awesome. And there's an energy here of keeping things tidy and things not being unorganized and feeling like her life is really in flow. So look at all the things you're doing. But if you are feeling lack of value in your world, look at what you're putting out and look at those little voices inside of you that are calling you to do something else. If it's calling you to create a YouTube channel, do it. If it's calling you to create a podcast, just freaking do it. Just figure it out. It's not that hard. You can go on YouTube and start doing YouTube videos and put them as private. You don't even have to share them right now if you're not ready to do that. There's that whole fear of being seen. The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. I highly have recommended this to people. You can listen to it on Audible or you can buy it, but it's all about that resistance within ourselves to really share our gifts. And when we're sharing our gifts, every day we're going to wake up feeling a sense of purpose and fulfillment. And that's huge value and huge validation for ourselves. So look at the things you're doing every day and place your value on yourself, on that inner journey of what you're doing to grow and expand and become more as a person. And I promise you, you're going to feel better. Stay off the scale. I'm telling you, stay off the scale. That's my public service announcement for today, is to stay off the damn scale, especially if you're over 40. No. Anyways, so look at where you're needing that validation. And when you understand that you're enough, that you are, boy, I'm clearing something for somebody today. When you understand that you are enough, that you are worthy in the world just for being here, just for being on this journey, just for getting up every day and participating in life, you will start to feel better. And when you start to feel better about who you are, you will be more available to create the value in the world and to share your gifts with those you love and the world at large. That's how we change the consciousness of the world. It's by sharing our gifts, by sharing our messages, by putting ourselves out there. It's not by shrinking. It's not by trying not to look too full of yourself. Anybody have those messages growing up, don't be too big for your britches, right? Anybody have those messages? Because those are all underlying as well. So this isn't about being egotistical. This is about sharing from the truth of who you are and being validated in the fact that you are here to promote value just by being you. All right. I love y'all. Peace out. Told you I'd be a short one. Have a great day. Join M21. It's not too late. We are the M21 Revolution group on Facebook. We are on day 3, so it's not too late. It's a donation-based challenge. So you basically donate to my Venmo, which is in there. Everything's in there, and then you can take part in the commitment. It's a commitment. It's exchange of value, and it's a commitment to your practice of sitting every day. And the meditations, I feel like they've been off the charts. All right. I love y'all. Peace.